Hello everyone, this is Lami Cooks. It's been a while. Let me welcome you back to my kitchen today. We have a very quick recipe, chicken live soup recipe with plantain fufu. This is really quick, trust me. It wouldn't take that much of your time. Let me introduce you to your ingredients. You have your chicken, your tomato, your onions, tomato paste, pepper, plantain, your chopped onions, salt, seasoning, and I have here my special mix of ginger, garlic, cloves, aniseed, star anise, and a few other things. I would have to make a video about this spice mix because I use it on almost everything. I have it in the fridge and I use it for almost everything. Right, let's start cooking. In my pot I have my chicken, and in no particular order I would add my special mix, my onions, my salt, my seasoning, and then I'll just mix it all together. Because it's a quick recipe, we're not going to steam the chicken before we add the vegetables. Everything goes in together, so you want to make sure you've mixed everything thoroughly. And to do this, if you want, you can add some water in. For me, I added a little bit of water just to make sure all the spices and everything, the chicken is coated with all the spices before I add my vegetables, because as I told you, it's not that method of steaming the meat before you add your vegetables. So as you can see here, I'm trying to mix everything just to make sure the spices covers everything. Added a little bit of water to help me with that. And then once it's once you make sure everything is mixed together, you just add straight away your vegetables. I have here 3 tomatoes, 3 whole fresh tomatoes. I'll add my onion and then my peppers. The pepper is up to your taste, so you can add as much as you want. I've increased the heat, covered it up. I just want to start the steaming process, and then I'll add a little bit more water to help the tomatoes to cook. Just make sure the tomatoes cooks very softly. Alright, whilst that is cooking, I'll start off by peeling my plantain as well. So quickly peel your plantain. You can use cassava if you want, but I prefer to use just plantain, so I'm doing it with just plantain. If you want, you can add plantain and cassava, that's fine. So any other fufu is fine. So you peel it, just make sure. Sometimes the plantain, the peel gets stuck to the plantain itself, so just make sure you scrape everything off, just all the green parts, make sure you scrape it off, as you can see me doing here. So peel all your plantain, and then I have a little trick I do just to make sure you don't break your blender down. So I usually would grate my plantain first, so it goes through another process of grating. So I grate it in the bigger side, yes. So grate everything so it can help your blender, especially those of us with blenders that are not really strong. So you might wanna grate it first. I mean, you can cut it into pieces and blend, but I would always like to grate it first. So grate everything. Now, as you can see, I've grated all my 3 plantain. So pour it in your blender. You might want to add some water because you need to help your blender. I don't like to break my blender down, so I added some water. I don't want it too watery, so just enough to make the blender spin. So you just add just enough. Start blending. Make sure you blend it until it's really smooth. You don't want to see any bits in it, so make sure it blends really well. Just have a look how smooth that is. So now we're just gonna pour it in a bowl. Make sure you pour it in a bowl that you're going to stir your fufu in, so you don't waste. You don't pour it in one bowl and then in another bowl again. So just make sure you use the same bowl. Cover it and then set it aside for later. Now we'll go back to our soup to check if the vegetables are cooked, and you can see the color of the onions has changed already. Vegetables cooked, just remove them all Don't leave anything inside. Remove all the vegetables, all your 3 tomatoes, and then your onion, and then the peppers. The peppers can be a bit tricky to get them, but just look through, especially when you're doing a very small pot. It's very easy to fish them out. So get all your peppers out, and then pour it into your blender, and then add, I usually want to add water, because anyway you need some water for your soup. So add some water to your vegetables to blend. I usually want to put the tomatoes first because it's softer, so that it can help with the spinning. Add some water, cover and blend. I'm telling you, this method is really quick. Your food will be ready in no time. The blender is making a little bit of noise, but it's fine. Just have a look. It's blended smoothly. Pour it into your chicken back. You can see the oil already, the oil from the chicken already settling in the top. Rinse your blender and then add it, because I don't want to waste, because anyway you need some water for the live soup. Then you add your tomato paste, and then if you feel you need more water, you add. Otherwise you just cover it, but I think I'll need more water. Yeah, so I added a little bit more water. Stir, make sure the tomato paste is at least dissolved inside, and then cover it for another 10 to 15 minutes. Let it boil, and then you check after 10 to 15 minutes. There you go. At this stage I usually would try for my seasoning, because everything has been cooked through, so now you can get the actual taste. So yes, I think it needs some more salt, so I added some more salt. It's always better to add salt later than to put too much salt. So this is my policy. This has always been my policy. Give it a stir. You can see the chicken needs a little bit more time. Cover it on a very low heat, and then now you just leave it on a low heat to cook slowly. Let's move on to our fufu. On a medium heat, start stirring your plantain fufu. Stir continuously until it starts becoming solid, like banku. So you just prepare it like banku. Once it's all formed, you can see how I'm stirring it, just to make sure you avoid any lumps. Stir it properly to avoid lumps in your banku, in your fufu, sorry. It's all formed now. You can see how the texture it has become now. So at this stage I would check the firmness. I don't like very hard fufu, so I'll add a little bit water, like quarter cup, as you can see, very little. Cover it and then let it cook. I'm trying to make sure everything goes back in. Cover it, let it cook for another 5 minutes, and then after 5 minutes, you see, voila, you can see already that the color has changed. It's cooked already, so you just have to mix it now through until everything with the water that you put mixes through properly. Wow, that fufu will taste really good. Yummy. And the soup is already smelling good in the kitchen as well. You have to, this is a must try. You have to try this soup. Amazing. Now this is how I form my fufu. I usually put a little bit of water in my bowl. This is not the perfect way of forming the fufu, but trust me, at this time I was really hungry, so I just wanted to get the fufu done. Yeah, so I formed it. I tried my best. I formed it quickly. With the water, I just make sure I lift the bottom so it doesn't stick. Then into the sink, I poured out the water and then flip it over. Ooh, as I told you already, it's not the best because I was really hungry. I did not have time. to go around trying to fix it and all that. So that is it. If of course, if you're serving it to someone special, or if you're serving it to a visitor or anything, please do make sure you make it nicely. That fufu was too big, so I just wanted to split it into two. I'll just have half of it. That's it. Go back and check your delicious soup. I'm telling you, that soup looks really good. Look at that. Look at the way it's bubbling away. It should be ready by now, and the smell in the kitchen, ooh. I can't really wait to dig into this fufu and the chicken rice soup. You can serve it now. Usually I like my fufu to cool, because you know, back home in Ghana, fufu is usually cold. So when I prepare it like this, I would like it to have just a little bit cold. So I leave it down for another 5 to 10 minutes before I serve. Look at the oil settling on top of the rice soup. Trust me, this is so yummy. Enjoy. Just make sure you subscribe, you like and comment, and then share this video. See you next time.